When I visit students on work term, they often ask me about the work term projects and their purpose. I would describe their purpose as twofold. First of all, it's an opportunity to do some in depth analysis that's really a core component of the BBA. And second, it focuses on being able to communicate this analysis in the form of a recommendation such that an employer would buy in. And I think that really business involves those two key skill sets of analysis and communication. So if I were to summarize or describe what an work term project looks like, I'd really walk through the different components of the project with an example. So the first thing that one needs to look at is the problem or opportunity that an employer could address. So in our particular example, this employer might be able to improve their marketing through the use of social media, specifically Twitter as one alternative. The second step would be to evaluate a couple of alternatives. So maybe looking at different forms of social media, looking at outsourcing that to a company who specializes in it versus hiring a co-op student. So you can identify a few alternatives. The third step would be to really evaluate those alternatives using a clear dollar figure cost benefit analysis. So if I were looking at the alternative of hiring someone on to market via Twitter, I'd obviously have some salary costs, some benefits costs, EI and CPP payments. I would also have technology related costs for that employee, training costs, and I'd want to come up with dollar figures for each of those. Now, on the benefits side, what I'd need to be able to do is evaluate, well, what sort of value would this employee bring in dollar figures to the company? And if I were pursuing this particular report, I might look at two ways of going about it. One would be looking at it as a cost savings versus traditional forms of marketing. So looking at how one can reach the same audience more effectively, therefore causing a cost savings. The other way is to evaluate increased revenue driven through this sort of marketing process. And either way, obviously, there's going to be some research involved digging out those numbers and coming up with a dollar figure that hits those.